same game. I've never seen.
I haven't spoken yet.
No, but I just want to know if you and me. I watched the game. Minnesota doubled up. Minnesota had the ball.
You get way better reception. I'm way down in the flats. I got an antenna on top of my house. It's terrible. I have to keep adjusting.
Let me
rabbit ears and
You had all that. You put aluminum. Okay, Skip. Minnesota had the ball for almost 20 more minutes than Tampa. Tom Brady threw for less than 200 yards. They had 303 rushing. The field. Man, you know what, Skip? You told me. You tried to warn me about Dan Bailey. And I wouldn't listen to you. I remember early in our career when I first got here, 2016, I think 16 and 17, y'all had Dan Bailey. And you used to bang the table. You said, I want to get rid of Dan Bailey. I said, no, Skip, he's just going through a rough patch.
Dan is not the man.
Man. Dan Bailey, Beetle Bailey, hell, he was kicking like Pearl Bailey, rest up. So this was ridiculous yesterday, Skip. And there's nothing more deflating, Skip, than when you score a touchdown, you send your field goal kicker on the field to kick the PAT, and he misses it. And they were dominating. They had an opportunity to go up 9-0. They had an opportunity, should have been 10-0, and he just shanked it. Now, the 54-yarder, Skip, I'm going to concede. I was like, that's not a chip shot. But those others, Skip, you can't have that. You can't miss those. You can't miss a 46. You can't miss a 36. You can't do that. Playing teams like that, you're on the road. And then what did Tampa start do? They started front running. They get you down now. They get that pressure on you. Here come JPP. Here come Barrett. Here comes Sue. And it just snowballed on them. And I didn't think Cousins played bad. He did as well. He stood up as long as he could. But it just they were relentless with their pressure. And those DBs, they started taking a little chances. They sitting on everything because they knew Minnesota's front line couldn't hold up. And they got ultra aggressive. But I'm trying to figure out, so what do you think Sean McVay is saying? Man, if I can just get Jared Goff not to give it to the other team, we can do anything we want to do. Sean Payton said, man, we get Drew Brees back, we can do anything we want to do. What the hell you think LaFleur said in Green Bay? So this notion that Bruce Arians like, oh, we so much better than everybody else, and we play our A game, can't nobody, man, stop. You've been watching the last 3 games. Y'all been getting the brakes beat off you. It's your first game you won in a month. So let's not get carried away, B.A. This was a game that Minnesota had the field goal kick. I don't know how it would have turned out. It might have come out with the same outcome, Skip. But you can't give away 10 points on the road. I've never seen anything like this, Skip. I've never seen this lopsided of a possession. Almost 20 minutes.
39-21. 39 minutes to 21.
Skip, that's unheard of. I'm trying to go back. I've seen 10, seen 13, 14, but not almost 20. That's ridiculous. And Bruce Arians up there pounding his chest like, man, you see where we beat the brakes off him. No, you didn't. You got a chip shot. And it was rightfully called. The guy PI'd, and I know people like, man, they call a PI on a Hail Mary. The guy was holding Gronk all the way down the field. Damn, son.
You know what? I'm so jaded on that call that now that you bring it up,
you wouldn't have called it?
I just wouldn't have called it because everybody gets away with everything on that play.
Well, Skip, if it was in the end zone, had it just been in the end zone, but Skip, he was doing this all the way down the field from the 20-yard line.
No, but this is like the Shaq treatment, like Shaquille O'Neal at his greatest, at his most dominant. People just beat all up on. He's Shaq. You know, they don't call it. They don't call fouls on Shaq. They call charges on Shaq. So the point is, do you realize that was the first defensive pass interference called in the last 20 years on a Hail Mary?
Yes.
They just don't call it. It's never, ever called.
Because everybody's jostling for the ball, Skip. It's like, hey, I got as much right to it. The ball's up in there. I got as much right to as the offensive guy does.
So that was 3 points. I wanted them just to go for it because you get it at the 1. You got 1 shot from the 1. I just go for it, but they took 3. That's fine. Okay, now back to the Bruce Arians quote, Jenny's question. Yesterday's was as baffling a football game as I've ever tried to figure out because about half the time, I'm with BA. About half the time, I saw firepower on offense and on Tampa Bay defense that made me think, gee, if they ever click, if they ever gel, if they ever ignite and detonate, they can be as good as anybody in the NFC. And our man Howie Long, right after the game on Fox, said something like that. Hey, they can beat anybody when they click. Well, did they click yesterday? Here and there they clicked. Right. Here and there they did not click. Right. Coming off a bye, 2 weeks worth. I didn't see urgency and energy I thought I might see. I thought they might take off yesterday, and they would, in fits and spurts, do this and do that, and then they wouldn't do anything. Remember, they came in #1 against the run in all of pro football. They gave up 162 yards rushing, and Dalvin went over 100.
Yeah, I told you Cool was going to be committed to the run now.
Because they came out, Gary Kubiak, your man who was your backup quarterback in Denver.
Offensive coordinator.
He's the coordinator now. He's been around. He's done great things in this league as a head coach and a coordinator.
Yeah. Won the Super Bowl with the Broncos.
He did. And he just came out and said, hell with you. You know, you think you could stop the run? And I kept telling you, the reason they've stopped the run is because nobody runs on them, because you can throw on them so easily. They'd given up the most pass yards in the league over the last month.
Right.
Okay? So what did I see? All right, let's go to good Brady first, and then I'll go to lots of bad Brady. But the first play is 3rd and 4 from the 48. So it's 3rd and 4, and he goes 48 yards. And guess what happened on this play before it was run? We didn't see it right there, but would you believe that little Scotty Miller went in motion on this play? They had run little to no motion for the first, 3/4 of the season. Yesterday, 51% of the time, on 25 of 49 snaps, they actually put men in motion.
Right.
So in the bye week, they said, let's do this. And that happened. In motion, so Tom can identify man, and he knew he had Scotty man-to-man matched up on somebody who can't run with the guy who runs 4.3, and that happened. And then let's go to the next one, which came in the third quarter on a 1st and 10 situation, but they actually ran this thing called play action. Brady lived on play action in New England. Play action, wasn't much of play action, and all of a sudden, guess who's loose down the sidelines? Mike Evans. He can throw one up. And bingo, you've got a play action, big completion to set up a touchdown. Right. Okay, I'll take that. And then this came late when they're trying to hang on to the lead. This is 3rd and 8 from their 38. And this guy named Antonio Brown, who still gets high targets, he got 5 targets and he caught all 5 of them. So they're still trying to fit him into the rotation. That was Brady's, to me, best throw against 3rd and 5, and he's doubled on the boundary. And that saved them and ate the rest of the clock, and they were able to win the game. So they had 0 turnovers yesterday. They had only 5 penalties, so I'll take that. But how do you not have the ball for only 21 minutes? It's like impossibly wrong. And they're way down. They're 27th in the league in time of possession because they're pretty good on 3rd down. They're 11th on 3rd down, but again, they're not. They're no risk it, no biscuit. Right. They score fat. They score or they don't score. Right. It's go for broke on one big play or they don't.
Right. And Skip, when you look at it, Brady was off a little bit yesterday.
He was. Especially early. He missed Gronk. He missed Chris Godwin. He missed Godwin on a cross where it was late in the. He had stepped up and pumped, and then Chris Godwin came completely free, and he just flat out airmailed.
I thought Brady would have a big day. For the simple fact, Minnesota can't pressure the quarterback. And you saw, Skip, on the throws that he had, on the one he hit Scotty Miller. Skip, I don't know why on 3rd and 4 you rush 3. You can't get pressure with 4. So you're going to take 1 and you got a guy spot. Why would you spot Brady? Like Brady go run for the first down like he Lamar Kyler. Why would you do that? I just didn't, I don't get why you would do that. You're not going to confuse him rushing 3, allowing him time to pat the ball, because he'll just wait. They had the guys, Skip, if you look at it, they got the one guy on the Hail Mary. Just rush 4. And if you don't get there, you don't get there. But you're trying to rush 3. Everybody's trying to get exotic. Oh, you see, I rushed 1 guy and got a sack. I rushed 2 guys and got a sack. Stop trying to get quirky. Just go play straight defense. I thought Brady would play better for the simple fact, Skip, they don't rush the pass. And I was like, you know what? He's going to have a time. And what we've seen from Brady in a game that he's played well, you don't get pressure on him. And if you don't get pressure on him, he still can throw the ball down the field. And he's still pinpoint accurate when you don't pressure him. And so that's why, Skip, I was like, I'm thinking 350, 3 touchdowns, 400 yards. But they also ran the ball with Roe Jones, Skip, 18 carries for 80 yards. That was another thing they did.
Okay, so this was the 2nd straight game, including Kansas City's, in which they barely had the football. They had it 23 minutes against Kansas City, 21 minutes yesterday. So if I extrapolate out, if I do the algebra on this, if you gave Brady the ball for 39 minutes, like Cousins had it, then Brady would have thrown for 351. So it doesn't sound great when it's 196, but he did that in 21 minutes. At that rate, he would have had 351 and 39.
You know, when you got the ball, you got to do something with it.
Okay.
Like you said, they either keep the ball and they put the ball in the end zone, or they go in 3 and out.
What did they do in New England? What did Tom Brady do? Long drives, 80 yards in 13 plays, 75 yards in 12 plays. They don't do that. That's not how they do business, and he's trying to do it the Bruce Arians way. But I still trust the offense more than I do the defense, because look what the defense allowed Kirk Cousins to do. He went 4 of 5 on 4th down, and they were going for it on 4th down because they said, Dan Bailey's a disaster. We can't even put the game back in.